Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and last night my 6-year-old went 4 for 4. I was pretty impressed with his performance. This kid, I wouldn't be surprised if this kid's batting over 900 for the year. He's pretty unstoppable, but when you have an eccentric dad who takes you to hit baseballs all the time, that tends to be what happens. Saw this right out of the gate this morning from Mr. B. This is pretty darn awesome. This may be the most beautiful picture I have ever seen in digital assets. Hashtag digital asset porn. And he saw this from, this is from @XRP_space. Coming soon, XRP the standard. And he's got XRP largest breakout since 17. And I'm assuming that they created this graphic, but it's a great graphic. And I'm going to use it. I'm going to use this in my thumbnail today, I think. Next, this is from Tiffany Hayden's blog. She called this the busy. If you don't follow her, it's at Hayden Tiff, and she's probably, I guess she's probably one of the first people in the XRP space. She's like majorly old school XRP. And I think she's got a ton of followers, like 73,000 followers. So she's got to be probably the biggest person in the XRP community by the amount of people that follow her and the amount of people that listen to what she has to say. And so what better person to show you their blog than this lady? This is, now you can find this blog on xrpcommunity.blog. And what this is Ripple and XRP 101. The busy person's guide to XRP, and she's got several interesting things that I went through and looked at this. XRP, whatever you can do with any other digital asset, you can do with XRP faster and cheaper. And then it's got this is the chart that shows you XRP compared to these other 5 digital assets. It's speed, cheaper, and more scalable. And then she's got checklists, XRP ledger at a glance, 5+ years and 99.999% uptime, over 46 million successful ledger closes, all this information. And then I saw something interesting down here. XRP is like a GPS. Sure, you can ask for directions, but tokens on the XRP ledger automatically find the cheapest, most efficient payment path. An upfront, and this is what I found interesting, an upfront and honest beginning. Now, what I've always just been frustrated by and found unbelievably stupid is that people that attack Ripple and XRP, they attack it and they say, oh, look at Ripple owns all these tokens and all this. Meanwhile, Ripple is the only company having to do with digital assets who has been completely transparent and upfront, and they've said, here's the tokens we own. We're putting them in escrow. We're doing all this legally, so you can see here's the rules. Here's how things are going to be released. Meanwhile, you have Bitcoin, who's been created by an anonymous person who anonymously controls I think it's like 1 million+ Bitcoin, who is not telling you what their plans are for their Bitcoin, what they're going to do with them, how it will affect the market or the price of your Bitcoins that you own. They're not telling you anything. And meanwhile, those same people that are pro the Bitcoins are attacking Ripple for owning it. It makes no sense whatsoever. And so she kind of makes that point here. But down here, this guy says XRP was pre-mined, aka made up, like an IOU or a debt issuance. And then David Schwartz says every digital asset is made up. They don't occur in nature. I mean, just totally blasted that guy's argument really quickly. But then when you go down here, this is what I thought was interesting. Ripple has set a high bar for transparency and continues to be the only company in the blockchain space that lists their holdings and provides quarterly report of their sales. How many BTC and ETH or Ethereum Classic do Coinbase and its investors hold? Ethereum has no market cap. How much has Joseph Lubin and Consensus sold? From Consensus sold. And then it's what's Ripple up to, and then so she finishes up by talking about the 3 main solutions Ripple currently offers. So anyway, it's a very, very good piece. Go and read it. And next, let's see. This is from XRP Big Time, AdX Big Time. I thought this was interesting. Stellar Lumens news today. The Stellar Development Foundation is preparing to launch their own decentralized exchange, SDEX. Stellar Lumens predictions 2019. Now that's interesting that they're launching their own decentralized exchange. That's a different tactic than Ripple is taking. Ripple chose not to get into the exchange business. Now I wanted to mention something that I did that you can do as well on Coinbase. You can go right now and you can earn free Stellar just by watching training videos. I had heard people talking about it and just decided I'd go and watch the videos just to see just to learn more about what was going on. And it's really interesting stuff. And I think I earned at least 80 or 100 Stellar just by doing that. You should go, if you've got a Coinbase account. If you don't have a Coinbase account, go in the description of all of my videos and there's a link and you can go and open a Coinbase account. But you can earn, I believe, 100 plus Stellar just by watching these videos. Okay, moving along. This is also XRX Big Time. Central banks smell blood. Here's what it means for cryptocurrencies. And they've got this article from Forbes, and I don't like loading Forbes because Forbes a lot of times is pretty ad heavy. That says the Bank of Canada's recent announcement that it was abandoning prospective interest rate hikes finally puts it firmly in the same position as the Federal Reserve and other major central banks. Citing an economic slowdown in Canada and negative global outlook, the Bank of Canada decided that it was going to keep the headline interest rate at the same target. And then it says central banks around the world are getting jittery about the economic outlook of the next few months, with many of them holding rates steady or even looking to decrease them. Markets have reacted sharply, predicting a higher likelihood of rate decreases than rate increases. That's all well and good, but what does this mean for blockchain and cryptocurrency? Early on, when it looked like there was little institutional overlap with cryptocurrencies, and when it was such a small percentage of financial assets, this might not have been a question worth asking. Now that cryptocurrencies have catapulted into the financial ecosystem, their placement as a financial asset certainly means there can be short-term fluctuations as well as long-term consequences. While the short-term fluctuations may not be interesting from a fundamental perspective, they will still matter to the perception of cryptocurrencies to the average consumer, who are used to seeing stock prices and financial valuations correlate with underlying value. So anyway, these people are starting to figure out that the central banks are going to be. Bottom line is this, folks: the central banks have been able to play a monetary shell game, and they've been doing it since their creation. And it's not good for the value of your money. It's only good for the powerful and the banks. That's the fact, Jack. And that game of financial musical chairs is going to come to an end. They don't know it yet, I don't believe, but it's going to come to an end as a result of digital assets and all this bull business of using interest rates to try to fix the problems created by these central banks. It's going to come to an end, and when it does, the safest place to have your money is going to be in digital assets. And these guys have spent years and years and years destroying your money. Digital assets are the answer, and these guys in the end are not going to be able to control the situation. So just know that. All right, from XRP James T at XRP James sent me this, and I'm not going to go deep into it, but I did want to show it to you. This video may be pretty long. No cash for sale in the world's first Bitcoin city. And then I'm trying to decide if I should break up this video because I'm already going. I read something this morning where someone said that they only like to watch 10-minute videos from YouTubers. So I'm thinking about cutting this video off and then doing a second video. I'm going to try that, but first let's cover this. No cash for sale in the world's first Bitcoin city. So they've the UK's Sun newspaper is touting the world's first Bitcoin city today, where all cash is banned. Backers of the venture hope that Malacca Strait City in Malaysia will attract 3 million crypto tourists per year. Visitors will be able to exchange their normal money for digital currency when they arrive, proclaims the Sun, or just use the digital currency they already own. You might suggest, but you'd be wrong. Malacca isn't so much a Bitcoin city as a crypto city, a one-horse crypto city at that. The digital currency will be forced to change your normal money into is the DMI coin through Android, iOS, and PC apps. Tourists will use these to pay for public services with their phones and computers. DMI is a company that provides mobile enterprise business intelligence and cybersecurity services. It collaborated on this project to develop the DMI platform and coin, where the cash is banned. So anyway, that was now we're going to have digital asset cities. Imagine that your city has its own digital asset. How cool would that be? I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that there will be Bitcoin and digital asset cities. Thank you for listening.